Not really. I
Okay.
think that this paper will help a lot. So
It will help a lot. Okay, so that is fine then, man. We will then be working along together, and some of the things that are general, we're gonna leave them out because of the time. But
yeah.
the other things that you feel like, okay, please just hang in there and go through it in a slower pace, then I will do so. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, but one thing that you need to be careful now, look at this. Whenever you go through these instructions, this part is important. They say all final answers must be rounded off to 3 decimals. So we need to maintain that. All right. And I always say to students, you can set your calculator. For example, what you do is when you have your calculator like this, remember your answers must be in 3 decimal places. So let's say you get your answer. For example, if I say 8 divided by 3, you see, if I press SD, it gives me this, right? If
Yes.
I can round off. If you are good at rounding off, is fine, but your calculator can actually round off where you press Shift, Setup, you go to number 6, which is fix. Then it says we must leave it to 3, so you put 3 there. Then when you press SD, your calculator is now rounding off to 3 decimal places. You understand? So you can use that by default. When you want to take it back, Shift, Setup, then you go to number 8, which is normal, and then you press 1 there. It will return now to back to that number again. You understand? So this is a simple way, you guys, if you are to round off and everything. All right. Now let's look at this question. So as you saw, the parts that we've been working on, this the paper will be covering all this. So this question paper will take us from number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Are you with me? So that's what this paper will be covering in full. So look at this, man. First part, simplify the following without using a calculator. And then it says, and by making use of exponential or logarithmic laws. Logarithmic laws. And then first one, do you think you can give it a try on the first one? Is it standard for you, or you want me to go for it?
You can go for it.
Okay, look at this, man. It says a squared. So these are exponents now. It's 2 marks. It says you are given there a squared, and these are, I think you're not present on this day, am I right? So it can actually assist. So look, when we did exponents, I don't think you're present. So this and this. So look, man, I have to consider what is common here. I've got my a and a, right? And I've got my b and b. So which law am I using? I'm using that law which says if I'm given a to the power of m times a to the power of n is equal to a to the power of m plus n.
Yes.
So if I'm to use then the law here, so my answer then, if I go up here, my answer will be a to the power,
A6.
yes, a6. You're right. And then
B5.
b5. You understand? So that is basic. Now what about the second one, 1.1.2? What do you think there? I'm just gonna do it in parts and then we write the final answer. What is this? When you simplify this guy, 3x cubed, you have to open the brackets first there. That's very important.
Yeah.
You see those brackets?
Yes.
This one. Now, when you open up this bracket, what will it become?
It's gonna become 3x9.
Okay. Let me do this. It's gonna become, look at it carefully. 3, this is 3.
Yes.
This is x, this is 3, x3, and then y2. So we are saying it's going to become?
It's 9x9,
okay,
a6.
So it's 9, x9, y6. But there is the error. The error is there. It's not, it's not 9. So that error there is 3, 3.
Yeah, sorry.
And 3 3 is 27. Remember that, right? Yes. So don't usually multiply it. Don't say 3 times 3 is 9. They will penalize you there. It's 3 to the power of 3. Are you with me? And then sometimes students also miss it when they put a 2 here. So students will say this is 6. This is actually 9 now. This is 3 squared. So be careful of those errors that they usually catch you on here. So, and then that is that part. What about this one? X, 4, Y. I'm taking it from the question itself. Y0. What will this one become? Is this one here.
Is it gonna stay like 0?
No. It's gonna stay as 1. Any number to the power of 0 is 1.
Okay.
Are you with me? So if I just pick up a calculator and say, for example, just take a calculator, say any number, maybe 87 to the power of 0, just check it.
Yes, gives me 1.
Yeah, so anything, as long, now the good part is, look at the bracket, they put this thing in brackets. It doesn't matter whether there is a 4, there is a y, whatever is inside, what is determining everything is that 0. So it becomes just a 1. Are you with me? And then what about this one at the bottom? The x, y, 2.
It's going to give you
2.
x2, y4.
Yes, x2, y4. So now if we write this now in full, I will have now 3 to the power of 3, x to the power of 9, y to the power of 6 times 1. They want to see that 1 because that's the mark, okay? Over x to the power of 2, y to the power of 4. What do we do from here? If you can maybe give me an idea.
Can you take that x2 y4, then you can bring it up and it's turned into a minus?
Yes, so it will become what? You're right, you're very right. So it's gonna be 3 and then x9. I continue with y6 and then
minus x.
No, it doesn't become minus like that, but you still multiply times, but it becomes x
minus 2.
Thank you.
Y minus 4.
Y minus 4. Yes. It's still multiplying, but it's just that the negative is the exponents. Okay. And then from here, what do I have? I've got 3, and then what do I say?
x7.
x7, because you're subtracting, right? But please don't just say 7 for the mark. Say 9 minus 2. They want to see that working.
Okay.
And then y 6 minus 4. They want to see this step. Okay. Because you're applying the laws. So 3, and then you write now your x7 and then your y2. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is that. And I've been saying to students, man, you can test your answer. For example, if you know, it's easy to make errors. So what I would suggest with you we do is you choose any value for testing now. This is, remember, 3 hours is enough to finish. I think you will find yourself in the next 2 hours, you'll be done with your exam. But I don't want you to just live like that without knowing whether some of the answers were correct or wrong. You can, some of them, test. So what you do is you choose any value of x, give me any value of x and give me any value of y that you want us to use. Any.
4
for x and then y.
4 also.
No, let's take a different one because x and y. 2. Okay. So y, don't forget, you said x is 4, y is 2. So we come here on the original. Here. On the original, where there is x, I'm going to put 4. Where there is y, I'm going to put what? 2. So you do that, and then you'll see what is going to happen there. So fraction first, then I've got a bracket, and then it's 3 x, so I'll put times because they're multiplying there. Times, you say x is 4 to the power of what? 3. You see what I'm doing there?
Yes.
Times y. Y, you say it is what? Is 2 to the power of 2. And then I close that bracket, and then I've got to the power of 3 outside. See that? And then times, open the bracket, x, you say it is 4 to the power of 4 times, and then play forward times y, you say it is 2, and then I close that to the power of 0, right? Then I go down, and then I open a bracket, x is 4 times y is 2 squared, and then I close the bracket to the power, okay, let me just make sure that I close it right there. Okay, that's fine. Close it to the power of 2. Then I get an answer here. It's giving me this long number, but we'll try to picture it on the side. It's 1769472. But we know the first one is 1769, you know, but it's a long number, right? 1769. So what I do, I want to get the same number in my final answer. So just pick it, is what? 176. Just punch it in a calculator. 1769472. 472. Just to keep it on your side. Is it fine?
I've got it. Yes, I've got it.
Alright. Now let's go to my answer here. Remember my answer was this one. So now I do the same thing here and say my x is, so I got 3 to the power of 3. That's what we said, times x, you say it is 4 to the power of 7, right? Times y, we say it is 2 squared. There, look at that number now.
Yes.
So when you see such things matching, so you don't need me to mark you whether you are right or wrong, man. You can literally say, I think I'm correct because I chose two values of x and y. They matched. I mean, my original and the final answer of mine matched. It means I've been simplifying this correctly. You understand that? So you in a way sometimes don't need to be asking or guessing it and doing that. So that is that part. Look at the next one. This is 4 marks. It says we are still simplifying using, they say, logarithms and the laws. So this one, it says here, let me write it, it's a bit long. It says we have got 73 minus 3 squared and then times 2y to the power of 0. This is 0, sorry. And then plus log 6 of 6. You see, they were also testing a few things there. They made it 4 marks. Give me some ideas. Anything coming in your mind?
This is a logs.
There is a log there. The log is there only.
It's 1, the log.
Thank you. So now you say, we're going to say here, this we identify that is 1, right? That's correct. Yes. And then what else?
Deborah, why is it a 0?
It's y to the power of 0, yes.
So that's also going to be a 1.
Thank you. So here you will recognize that is 2 times 1. They want to see that working, okay? Then what about in this sign of square root?
You're going to take the -3. You're going to this 2 must go in.
Yes.
So it's going to be -6.
Again, that error. Remember, you don't multiply these guys. It's squared.
Yeah, so it's 9.
Yes. So always remember that in the exam, right? So what is saying here, this is saying, let me do it on top. This guy here, you can take a calculator. It's like -3 times -3.
Yeah, so
which is equal to
9.
positive 9. So be careful there. So when you write it now, this will be equal to square root of 73 minus 9, right, times 2, we said there was a 1, times 1 plus 1. Now what is 73 minus 9 on your calculator?
It's 64, but it's going to be 8 though.
Yeah, so, but let's first write that 64. They want to see it as the working. Times 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1, so which is 3 that side. Am I right?
Yes.
So what is 64? You say it is what? It's 8 plus what? Plus 3, right? Which is equal to...
Isn't it more?
Oh, sorry, 8 times 3. Sorry about that.
Yes, thanks.
Yes, you're right.
So it's 24.
It's 24. So it's going to be 24 there. Now, you see, what you can do also, you just take a calculator. Tell me what you get on this one. What are you getting here with the calculator? As is like that.
73 minus...
bracket minus 3, close it square.
It's going to be 8.
You see, so these are things that you can just test later to say, am I in the right track, you know? And then even here, log 6, you can test it. I mean, y to the power of 0, definitely that becomes a 2. So those are the things that you can use also to test yourself if ever you are in doubt of some of the working. So far, I think you're not having issues there with exponents. Come to this one now, log. Simplify the following logarithms without a calculator. Now, you see, they are specifying don't use a calculator. But as I always say to students, that's when you must use one. So now, use the calculator for the first one. Tell me the answer. For the first one. Yeah, it says log 25 plus log 4. Please tell me the answer there.
The log 4, it's going to be 1.
Okay.
Because it's going to be a 2.
Just 2. Yeah, just do every. No, I'm saying just to use a calculator for this one. I want to find the final answer. Then we work towards that answer.
It's log
25 plus log 4. What is your calculator giving you?
It gives me 2.
It gave you 2. Now, Henrik, the aim now is to get 2. You understand what I'm saying? So yes. We have to get 2. So now let's do that. Now you know the answer, which means, I mean, I know already where I'm supposed to go. So it's a matter of proving that answer. You see the importance of that. So you guys, sometimes you work it, you don't even test it with the calculator, you just move on to the next question. What if you made an error just a little bit there? it's costing you some marks, you see. So always use that to your advantage. Now 25, what are you gonna do?
It's gonna be 2.
Okay, it's gonna be 2
and the 5 on top.
Okay, how do I write it? 2 to the power 5.
2, yeah, it's 2 to the power of 5.
No, that's not 25. It's not gonna give you that. Check it, say 2 to the power 5, you'll see what it will give you. It will give you, I think, 32.
Yeah, it's 32.
Yeah, so it's not the one, you see that?
Yeah.
So now what do you think? Now look at this one. I understand also on the time we did logs, you were not in the class there. Look at this one. There is a rule of logarithms which says if you are given log in base a, this is log in base a of x plus log in base a of y. You see this, the plus there. Yeah. The law says if you are adding, then you are going to say log, take the base, and then you say x times y. You see that? You multiply. So when there is an addition, you multiply. Are you with me? So there is that addition. So what are we going to use with the rule? We're going to say what? Log. If they didn't give you a base there, what is the default base? It's 10. Thank you. It's 10. So we're going to say log base 10, 25 times what? Times 4. 4. You see that? So our x is like our 25, our y is like our 4 there. You see that? So what does it become? Which is equal to log in base 10, 25 times 4 is what?
100.
100. Now you continue, which is log.
It's going to be log 10 to the power 2.
Thank you. You see now. And after that you drop the what?
Then the 2 goes in front and the log 10 turns into a 1.
Thank you. That turns into a 1. So it's 2 times a 1, which is equal to 2. That's why they gave you that 2. Yeah. So your aim is to make sure that you at least you become safe. I mean, I know my answer is that, and if it's coming out from what I got on the calculator, it means definitely I'm correct, you know.
Yes.
So now, tell me now, any challenges with the use of my rule here?
No, I'm fine with it.
You're gonna be fine, right? Okay, yes. Just remember that part. Okay, let's go to the second one. This one, it says 1.2.2, how many marks is 3 marks? What do you think on this one? Okay, use a calculator first. Just do that as is and tell me the answer.
Okay, I'll use a calculator.
Yes. It's 3 marks.
Yeah.
And then
it gives me 3.
It gives you 3. So let's get this 3. So what's your ideas there? What's coming in your mind? They're always gonna give you something related, man. They will never give you things that are not related. Alright. So now one thing I'll say is to say look at 8 and look at 4. They are related. Look at 7 and look at 9 at 49. Now how do you see that? Look at 8. Just say 8 equal to
3. It's 8.
Is 3 to the 2 to the power of what?
Yes, 2 to the power of 3.
Yes. So how do you usually do that? I don't know with your calculator. I usually check this. You say 8 equals to shift fact, then it can give you that. Do you have that function in the calculator? Just say 8. Say 8 and then press the equal sign.
Equal.
Then press shift. And then there is this thing. Let me show you on my calculator. There is this part here. Just I'll show you now. There is this part on my calculator. Is an arrow. So you say shift. You press that thing. It's FACT. It's FACT there at the bottom.
Yes, I see it.
Press it. What does it say?
Yeah.
So okay. So first you do this. You say 8 and then press equal sign.
Okay, 8.
Equal sign. So you say 8 and then I'll say equal sign. Okay, let me start again. I'll press 8 and then press the equal sign. Right?
Yes.
And then I'll say shift and then I'll press that sign there. That thing of FACT.
It gives you 2 to the power of 3.
Yes. So whenever you find some of the numbers that you are not clear, just quickly do that so that it can tell you which one is which, because sometimes they give you those big numbers, but it's only hidden in those 2 to the power of 3, 5 to the power of 5, you know, those things. You can use that function. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's go on there. You said now we're working on that. You did say 8 is log 2 to the power of 3 over this is it, 2. This is log 7.
7 to the power of 1.
Yes.
Or leave it.
Yes. Yeah, we can leave it like that. And what about 49?
7 to the power of 2.
Yes. What about 4?
2 to the power of 2.
Now, what do I do from here? Apply the rules of the log. You drop in front. What do I have there on top?
On top?
Yeah, for the 2 to the power of 3. It will be 3 log 2.
Log 2, yes.
Yes. Over log 7 times?
2 log 7.
Yes.
And 2 log 2.
2.
Or you could just take it as a 1.
2 log 2. You are right like that. That's the way.
Can you just take it like a 1?
No. Because it can't be a 1 because the base there is what? Is 10.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, it's just learning. Maybe also the way I'm writing it is like my base is the number. Remember, the default base is 10, so it cannot be a 1. You understand?
Yes.
So now, at this stage, what they wanted to do was to see that this guy can cancel with that guy.
And log 7 can cut in with that one.
Thank you. So what are you remaining? Here, you have got 3 on top
and that one,
times
and
2
1.
Over... Oh, this one can cut off if I wanted to. Yeah, right. Over 2, which means I can then continue. I should have done it that side, which means the answer is what?
3.
It's 3. And that's what we got on the top here. Yes. All right. So these are things to say, use them. Let's say by chance you made that a 1. I mean, it's an error. You're not picking it up. But when your answer is not giving you a 3, it means you are going to come back here and investigate. Where did I get it wrong? So by that, you are able to pick up your errors along. Okay.
Yes, that helps a lot.
That will help you, trust me. So use your calculator to advantage. And look at this, man. The mark allocation already, this is 15 marks. And you want to be 100% sure. I can use my calculator to test all these 15 marks.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You'll be knowing,
yes.
I know this, I got it right. Even the calculator was confirming that. Okay, let's go on then. Question number 2. Are you having issues? Okay, this one says divide, long division. Says divide this by that.
No, I don't have really issues with that.
Yeah, you're good with that one. Can I skip it or do it? Can you skip it?
No, you can skip it.
Okay, this we can skip it. What about this one? Subtract this from. How do you write it? I'm not gonna do it as such. 3 marks. How do you write this? Subtract that from that.
You're gonna write the 3 plus x minus 2x to the power 2, and then you're gonna minus the 7x minus 8x to the power 2 plus 3.
How do I minus it? Do I put it in front or you want me to put it here?
Underneath is better.
Underneath is better. So minus. So how do I write it now? Because 7x will be gonna be here. Minus 8x squared plus 3. So
yes, now you just need to write it in like minus 8x2.
Thank you. So I must rearrange everything, right?
Yes.
So let's rearrange from the top. What must I write?
Minus 2x to the power 2.
Yes, thank you.
Minus x plus 3.
Okay, it's plus. For that one, it's plus x.
Oh.
Yeah, plus 3. Am I right? Or did I copy it wrong? You know, x is positive there.
Oh.
Am I right?
Yes, you're right, sorry.
Yeah, x is what is a positive. So what about the second one?
Minus 8 to the power 2. Minus 7x plus 3.
Minus 7x plus 3. Because it's a matter of rearranging. But don't forget, actually I'm the one who did wrong here. 7, remember this is not minus, it's that minus we used. So for now 7 is positive.
Yes.
Then I say minus because they said subtract. You see that? Yeah. Then it's a matter of you subtracting to say minus 2x minus, it will give you positive 6x squared here. And then that minus that, it will give you minus what? 6x. And then this, it will give you 0.
0.
Yeah, so the answer becomes that, you know. So I just wanted to be sure that don't make some errors. I don't know why, for some reason, man. I don't know why this thing is worth so much less marks compared to this one. Because there is a lot of work on long division sometimes, you know. But look at the mark allocation. It's equivalent to what we just did. I feel it's a bit unfair. Knowing that, do you know that in N3 they bring this question and sometimes it's worth 4 to 5 marks? As is.
Really?
I'm telling you, man.
It's easy points.
It's easy points, but they bring it on N3, but here they even punish you and give you even less marks. I mean, I expect you to have maybe 6 marks because they even ask students at a higher level, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, it's fine. Look at this, factorize. Tell me here, what do you think is happening here? We need to factorize 3.1.1. It's a very important aspect there. Factorization. So it's 24x minus 12yx squared plus 16. Now, they are, okay, the way, look at the mark, whenever you look at these questions, check the mark allocation. Now, if it's 2 marks, it means, please don't think far. It's a matter of, there are 3 of them, just check out what is common in all the 3 and just take it out. So you look at 24, start with the numbers, 24, 12, and 16. Which is the highest number that can go into 24, 12, and 16?
4.
It's 4. So you take 4. Again, look at, what is this one? Look at x, yx squared, and 16. Is there anything common in all these letters?
No, I think it stays at 4 because the 16 doesn't have an x.
Thank you very much. That is good observation, man. So what do you do there? What will be inside the bracket?
It's gonna be.
So literally you are dividing 24x over 4. So you're saying
it's gonna be 6.
24x over 4, right? So it's gonna be 6 what? 6x.
6x
minus
3yx to the power 2.
3yx to the power of 2.
And then it's gonna be
plus
4.
Is it 4?
Plus 4.
Okay, plus 4. You're right. So that's it, man. That's why I'm saying it's 2 marks. It mustn't, but you must be able to quickly do this to say, if I'm to open that bracket, I must get whatever I did there. You know, this one is a quick one. Next one, if you're factorizing again, what do you think? It's 3 marks.
Like, let me just think. I think you're just gonna the B must go in on the A.
On the A. So we open the bracket, right? So let's open it up. Let's open it up. So I will have 5a squared plus a squared b,
plus 5b
plus 5b
plus
b squared
to the power 2.
Thank you. Then what do I do from there? This is where you do grouping, right? So you group. So the way they did it, you can group the first 2
and the second
and the second 2. So what is common in the first 2?
On the first 2 is a b.
On this one, no. It's actually a squared.
On the first one?
On the first one, yeah.
Oh yes, I thought you were saying what's this same as the first one and the second one.
Okay, yeah. So I'm saying this one, it's a is common, am I right?
Yes, a is common.
So what is going to be inside?
5a.
Actually, it's a squared, man. I'm seeing a squared there, am I right? It's a squared.
Yeah, it's a squared, so it's just going to be 5 plus b.
Yes. So we must get a similar bracket, which is what
and
is
the
common.
Second one, b, only b. So it's going to be 5 plus b.
Yes. So how do you write our final answer?
It's going to be a2 plus b. And then the brackets 5 plus b.
Perfect. You did it well. That's it. They gave it 3 marks for that. So the aim, I think the key thing there was for you to see that I must first open up, and then when I'm opening up, then it will force me to come up with a grouping like that. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so that is good. Look at the next one. We are supposed to study it for me. Simplify the following. You see they start increasing on the mark allocation there. It's 4 and 5, which means it's a little bit of work. What do you think there? We need to simplify those fractions. Let me come this side. We want to simplify these fractions. Any suggestion while I'm writing it down?
So, if you're going to simplify,
there's fractions. So we've got x squared.
Is x squared on 2 plus 2x to the power 2 on 3 minus 7x to the power 2 on 6.
Okay, what do you think? So what comes in, your key thing is to focus on the bottom numbers, the denominators.
Yes.
So you have got 2, 3, and 6. What's the common denominator of these three numbers? The number that can go into 2, 3, and 6. It's 6, right?
Yeah,
that's the highest number. That's the number that can go into 2. That's the number. I mean, that's the number in which 2 can go into, 3 can go into, and 6 can go into.
Yes.
So that is our common denominator. All right. And then from there, what we do is, it's not complicated. So we are saying, how many times does 2 go into 6?
3 times.
3 times. So we write the 3 and multiply by the top, which is what? X squared.
Yes.
You see that? Plus, how many times does 3 go into 6?
2.
2. And then we multiply by what?
2x to the power 2.
Minus, how many times does 6 go into 6?
6 go into 6 once.
And then multiply by 7.
1. Yes. 7x to the power 2.
Then we just multiply that. 3 times that is simple 3x to the power of 2 plus
4x to the power 2 minus 7x to the power 2
all over what? All over 6. You always maintain that and then continue. Now everything is common there because it's x2, x2, x2. So what is it giving you? 3 plus 4?
Minus 7, so it's gonna be 0.
0. You see what's happening? So at the end of the day, I'm getting, it's funny, it's 0 over 6, which is equal to 0. Now, you want to test whether you did this right. Again, you just take a calculator for me, quickly. Choose any value of x. Maybe let x be equal to what?
X be 2 and
yeah, there's
y
no y. No, there's no y now, so it's just x.
Well,
so now, where there is x, can you put 2? Where there is x, can you put 2? Can you put 2? It must give us 0. Can you try that?
Okay. Yes, let me check. Yes. Gonna be...
It must say 2 squared over 2 plus 2 times 2 squared over 3 minus 7 times 2 squared over 6. Just be testing it for me there. I'll be writing the other one now. Let me delete that. Oh, sorry. I was been moving this so fast.
No, it's fine. You can move it. Yeah. I have it.
Any luck with the 0? It's not giving a 0.
No, it is giving a 0.
It is giving a 0.
Yes. Okay. It gave me a 0.
It gave you a 0. So look, man, as I keep on saying, this you see that we are still testing some of these things and they are still coming out right. You see. So what you have to do, you need to be knowing, like, I know what I did in that exam. I know this one was correct. You know, those kind of things. So this is what I'm doing. Let me check if I wrote this right. X squared minus 4x over 4y times 4xy over xy minus this divided by x over that. This is now 5 marks. We're supposed to also do what they're saying, simplify this thing. Just to give you a chance to have a look at it from here. Say simplify the following, and then they gave us this. Alright. And then I just wrote it now here. It's just quite a few things that they want to check from you there, but don't forget, it's still factorization that they are picking up from you. Now, let's do it right. What do we factorize on top, on the first one here? Let's factorize.
Over the x.
Take out x,
So it's going to be x minus 4.
Thank you. And then at the bottom, we can leave it like that. So let's not change anything from now. Times 4xy, I leave it like that. Let's not cancel out anything. And then
we're going to break the brackets.
No, don't open that bracket. Because you see, we just opened a new bracket, so we can't be opening others. We can't be making them and opening them at the same time.
Okay.
You understand? So when you make one, always keep the rest. If you're opening one, always open the rest. You see? Otherwise, you'll be forced to come and close it again, this bracket.
Okay.
You see? And then, now divide it. I want to change this thing into a times. What do I do?
So we're going to write the a to the power 2 minus plus a on x.
Okay, so it is, so this goes on x, right? And then
so the
x goes minus, so it will be
minus a to the power 2 plus a, because you're...
Come again? I missed you there.
Isn't it going to be minus a to the power 2 plus a?
It's y. That's the y. Sorry, my writing is bad. That's a y there.
Yes, it's a y.
So it's y to the power of 2 minus what? Minus y.
But it shouldn't be a plus because it went on top.
No. What happened is, remember there was a division sign here. You see the division?
Yes.
So when I change that into a multiplication, it's just a matter of you flip it up and you flip it. What was on top goes down. What was down goes up. You maintain the signs. Nothing changes on the signs.
Okay.
So everything like that. Let me just give you a scenario. Let's say I've got, do this for me. Let's say 1 over 2 divided by 5 over 4. Can you take a calculator and do this for me? I just want to show you something.
Sure. It's gonna be, if you check.
Say 1 over 2 divided by 5 over 4 for me.
It gives you 2 on 5.
2 on 5. Okay, now let me do the same way I did. So if I'm to work it out, I'm gonna say 1 over 2, then I'll say times, then I take this to the top, I take this to the bottom, it will be 4 over 5. I didn't change the signs. You see? So it then 2 cancels there to give me a 2. Then it becomes 2 over 5. Do you understand the thing? So yes. When you check, when you are taking one to the top and one to the bottom, you don't have to worry with the signs. What you have to worry is once I change from division to multiplication is when I flip it up. Okay. That's the flipping, yeah. But don't change the signs. The signs maintain as they are. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
All right. So now when we continue this thing, we actually can factorize actually this guy. While we are turning it upside down like this, let's factorize. What's common there? It's the y. Am I right?
Yes, it's a y.
So it will become what?
It become y, and that's that.
Minus?
If the y goes out, so it's going to be 1.
Yes, thank you. Are you with me? So now, I don't know why they were, I'm trying to find out how this question was really measured. I'm not seeing things that are cancelling anyways, fine. Because I'm seeing here there is x minus 4. Am I checking it right? Yes. So I don't see things cancelling out in the way I expected. But anyways, fine. Let's cancel out what needs to go. You can see the 4 can go, right?
Yes.
And then this y can go there.
Yes.
What else? The xy. This one can go with this one.
Yes, and
this x.
The x on the left and the x on the.
So what is remaining?
So it's gonna be x minus 4.
X minus 4.
And x minus a.
And x, okay, this one, the y minus a. I mean, sorry. Where is it? No, it's this one, y minus 1 over x minus y. Am I right?
Yes.
That is what is remaining. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know why it was so long like this anyway, but that's it. As I say, what you do, just because of time, but what you do is you do the same thing. Take any value of x. It's just that it's too long, this one. You put value of x, you say maybe let my x be equal to 5, my y be equal to 8. You put them there, you get your answer. Do the same thing, come here for x and y, you put your answer. The answers must match.
Yes, and then check your answer.
Yes, and then you check your answer. That's how you check. So this was 5 marks. Let's move on to this one. And I want you to do this one definitely because it's one common one, and I know you're not in that lesson, but let's do this one together. And I want you to be leading here. Determine the LCM, lowest common multiple, and the highest common factor, HCF, of the algebraic terms by making use of prime factors. What do we do? 6 marks, man. How do you approach this one?
You're gonna look at your prime factors. So the smallest one I think is gonna be I think it's 5. The smallest and highest.
It's 5. Okay. Okay. So we start with LCM.
Yes, the lowest.
Okay. So it's gonna be 5.
5.
All right.
Yes. And
on the letters,
the biggest one. Sorry?
On the letters like the M and N and M, well, how do you go about that one? Because it says M squared, N, the other is M, You know that. So how do you do it? Nothing common there.
No.
Okay.
I don't think it's common there.
Okay, so what about the h, highest common factor?
The highest. Isn't it also going to be 5?
It's going to be 5. Alright, now, but let's look at this, man. This one now, you pay attention now. Let me do like I'm teaching on this one, alright? Look at this. This is what you do. You get your, before you do anything like this, you take your first one is your 5m squared n4 L2. Am I right? And then
yes.
The 15. Now, what do you do with 15? Take a calculator for me. Say 15 equal to shift fact. That thing I told you about.
15
equal to shift fact.
It's 3 mole 5.
Thank you. 3 times 5. And then I've got m, n cubed, and l. Do me for 10. Same thing.
With 10?
Yeah, say 10 equal to shift fact.
2 times 5.
Thank you. 2 times 5. M 3 and L4. This is part of the working. They'll be marking you this, man. You saw that thing is how many marks? This is 6 marks, eh?
Yes.
So now when you do this, they will give you, as I say, just doing this, especially those are marks. To say 3, 5, 2, 5. What are you doing here? You are expressing this thing as prime factors. That's the first part of it. Then from there, you are going to say, how do I find my LCM? Now the LCM, what you do is you take every number that you are seeing there appearing with the highest powers. For example, I've got 2 appearing. You look for the highest power. Unfortunately, there is no other highest power except 1. You go on. What's the next number you see? You see 3. You'll be multiplying them. The highest power there is 1. What's the next number? Is 5.
Isn't it 4?
No, there is no 4 there. It's 3. Look at this. I've got 2. I've got 3, and then I've got 5. There are no any other numbers except those. You understand? So you're looking. Remember, we're using these numbers as they are given. We can't write any number that is outside this.
Okay.
So are you picking up what I'm saying? So you take your 2 because it's there. You take your 3 because it's there, but with the highest powers. And then on the letters, you do the same thing. You can see M is there, but what's the highest power there? You see that the highest power is 3.
Yes, the highest one is 3.
And then I go for the N. What's the highest power?
4.
And then I go for the L. What's the highest power?
Also 4.
Now multiply for me 2 times 3 times 5. What do I get?
2
times 3 times 5, because it's 2 to the power 1, 3 to the power 1, 5 to the power
1. 30.
It's 30. So the answer, man, is 30m cubed n4 L4. I'm gonna come back to this on the LCM and HCF. Now let's go first to the HCF. What do you do on the HCF? You use the same thing we are doing. That's why they mark you this, because it gives you both the LCM and the HCF. Now what you do on the HCF, you look for the number that is appearing in all the 3. Now 2 is only appearing in the last one, 3 is not on that. Then
it's 5.
I see a 5 because there is my 5 there. See that? Then I take the 5 because it's common, and then I do the M again, but on the M now I choose the smallest power.
So it's only M.
M. Then the N again, I choose the smaller power.
It's 3. It's sorry, it's 1.
It's 1 there again, and then the L, I choose the small power.
Also 1.
Then that becomes the answer. So now look at the difference. Now when they say lowest, that's when you go highest on the numbers.
Okay.
When they say highest, that's when you go lowest. So what are they trying to say? When I say to you lowest common multiple, I'm saying give me the first number in which all these 3 numbers can go into. Let me repeat again. When I say lowest common multiple, remember this is multiple. I'm saying give me the smallest number in which 5 blah 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 can go into, in which 15 can go into, in which 10 blah 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 can go into. You see? So in this case, you are saying, let me just doing this. You are saying here, this 30 is the number in which all these 3, the 15 blah 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 blah, the 10 blah 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 blah, and the 5 blah 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 can go into it. That's why it must be the bigger numbers, right? And then on the highest common factor is the opposite. We are looking for the factor in which this number can go into these numbers without leaving a remainder. So it's the other way around.
Okay.
Is it fine there?
Yes.
Yeah. So don't forget that, man. You need to revise this. Please, you need to revise this. Go and look at other problems of this nature. And there is quite a lot of videos also on the part that I did on this side. I don't want you to lose these 6 marks, okay? It's so simple. You will definitely get it, right?
Yes.
Now, give me an idea. I would love to take a break from my side. And then can we do just a 5 minutes break, please?
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
Thank you. Let's continue looking at a few things. This part, look, this is also 20 marks, man. I mean, this exam mustn't be something that is more stressing. It's more predictable to pass it, eh? Look at this one. Solve for x.
Yeah.
Solve for x. What do you think there? It's also not a difficult part of it. How will you solve for x in this scenario? And whereby you've got 5 multiplying or 5 going into these and is equal to 3 going into x minus 2.
Yes.
So what do we do first? You have to open those brackets, am I right?
Let's open the brackets.
So when you open, it becomes what?
5x
So
minus 20
okay, so it's 5x
minus 20.
minus 5 times 4 is 20. Equal to
3x minus 6.
3 will multiply with x and then minus 3 times 2 is 6. Yes. Then from there, what do I do?
Then you're gonna take the 3 left and the 20 right.
So take 3 left, take 20 right. Then it's going to be 5x. Then it becomes what?
Minus 3.
Minus 3x is equal to
2.
This is 20, remember?
Yes, so it's minus 6 plus 20.
Minus 6 plus 20. Alright, so what is 5x minus 3x is 2x is equal to
2x is 14.
Yes. Then how do I find x?
Now it's gonna be 14 divided by 2.
Thank you.
So it's x is 7.
So x is equal to 7. But again, please don't go on with your math. I know you say, I know this is correct and everything, but test your answer. Just put a 7 there and put a 7 there. See whether it balances. For example, 7 minus 4 is 3. 5 times 3, I get 15 this side. 15, is equal to 3. Then 7 minus 2 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. So left hand side is equal to right hand side. Right. Just do that, man. Don't move on without being sure that I got it right, you know. Because sometimes you can miss it a bit, you know. A negative, you forgot a negative to become a positive. Those small things. Now, next one. This one is more basic again. You open that. You open that. It's going to be what? 3x.
3x
minus 15 is equal to 12. Then the 15 goes that side. Then you divide by 3. So this one is also basic. When you did the top one, definitely you'll do the second one. Now, let's come to this one. 4.2. Let's read that statement. Can you read it for me?
Sarah is 5 times as old as Mavis. After 4 years, Sarah will be 3 times as old as Mavis. Calculate their present age.
Yes. Have you ever approached those kind of problems? How, or the technique behind? Or you want me to go on for it?
Nah, this is fine with me.
You're fine on this one?
Yes.
So, can I do it or we leave it out?
No, you can leave it. I'm fine with this one.
You're fine with this one. Okay. Then 4.3. Let's look at 4.3. It says the volume of a cylinder is V is equal to that. Pi r squared h. And then how do you make r the subject there? Are you anything there? Must you go through it also?
Nah.
You're fine.
I did this today, so.
So you're comfortable on this one.
Yes, I'm comfortable.
So this section you're fine. All right. Then let's go to question number 5. It says study the graph below. Then we are having this kind of a scenario. So what we have, we've got A and B. A is 6, B is minus 3. Then it says write down the coordinates of A and B. So what is A here?
What is A? A is 6. So it's gonna be 0 and A is gonna be 6.
Yes, and then what is B?
And B is minus 3 and 0.
Minus 3 and 0. Right.
Yes.
Yes, so that is that. And then the next one says calculate the gradient. Calculate the gradient of the straight line. How do you calculate the gradient on this now?
Remember
they say
is it be like R? No, wait. I've done this. It's gonna be A2 minus A1 on X2 minus X1.
Yes, thank you. So it's gonna be X2. I mean, you start with Y. Sorry about that. So it's gonna be Y2
minus Y1
over
on X2 minus 1 X1.
Yes. So now, what do we do from there?
Y2 it's gonna be 0 minus 6
over
and 0 minus 3.
Now be careful there. Whenever you start, you started, you said Y2. This is your Y2, so this becomes my X2. So you must label them like that.
Yes. Sorry.
So then this becomes your X1. This becomes your Y1.
So it's gonna be minus 3 minus 0.
Minus 3 minus 0. Otherwise, if you interchange it, you're gonna mess up the signs, and then you mess up on the signs. So the answer there becomes -6, -3 is +2.
Yes.
You see that? So then that's that. And then it says determine the equation of the straight line. Write your answer in the form of this. How will you find the equation of the straight line there?
Sorry?
They says determine the equation of the straight line. This one.
Yeah, so M is gonna be 2, X is gonna be
M is gonna be 2. Okay, we leave X. Remember, it's Y is equal to MX. You leave it, but C is what? C is 6.
It's 6.
That's your C there. Are you with me? So then the answer is gonna be Y is equal to M. I mean, sorry, not M. Is gonna be 2X plus 6 because Y and X must always remain.
Yes.
Yeah, are you with me? So okay, that was that one for the graphs there they brought in. Let's see if ever there is something also. And on the sketching now of this graph, look at this one. It says given xy is equal to 7. What type of graph is this? Xy is equal to 7. You see?
I forgot that.
Yeah, it's a hyperbola. This one. Hyperbola.
Yes.
So now what do you have here? You have a graph like this. So it's got two types of these graphs. It's either it will be this shape and that one.
Oh yes.
We call it quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. Or it can be here and here.
On the other sides.
Which is quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. Now how do you know what is what? You look at the sign. If the sign is positive, if it's positive, it's here and here.
Yes.
If it's negative, it's 2 and 4. Are you
sorry, but the one underneath, isn't it also going to be negative?
Come again? The what?
The negative is going to be the one on top on the right in underneath.
Okay, let's do this. First of all, let's look at this one. How do you write? Because usually when they say complete the standard form, usually there is a question which says write this equation in standard form. So what you do here, just to give a bit of background, you divide by x here. You divide by x so that you've got y is equal to 7 over x. You understand? So you can see that is a positive equation, right? So now let's start putting values. When x is -7, what is y?
X is -7, so y is going to be 7.
-7. So there you put a -7. So 7 over -7 is -1.
Yes.
So now what about if it's -1?
It's -1.
So it's 7 over -1. No, it's going to be -7. Check with the calculator.
I'm checking. Yes, you're right.
And then when x is 1,
7 over 1, it's going to be 7.
And then when x is 7,
it gives me 1.
So then they say complete the table, so you're going to have these values. Are you with me? And then it says draw the graph by making use of the table given in question. This use graph paper. So when they say draw the graph, now with the part now, let me just try to make a graph paper here, because that's why it's very important for you. I want you to pay attention here. if they say we need to draw this, are you able to see my graph paper here?
Yes, I'm able to see
now
it.
I'm gonna do this, make it red, just to see. It's a sketch, it doesn't have to be very accurate. It's a sketch because they gave you limited numbers. So now you saw that we have got here y starts from -7 to 7, x from -7 to 7. So when you come here, we can actually let me just pull this thing a bit down here and say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It still stretches further, and then I've got 7 there. Then I must go down again, which is 1, 2. I must make this smaller. 3. Let me make this even smaller like that, but it's gonna be fine. 3, and then I must stretch it further, which is 4, 5, 6, and 7. Remember, this side is negative down.
Yes, it's
so you need to do that because and then on the x also it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is there, and then here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just doing it like this, but in the exam you need to write everything.
That's also negative.
Yeah. So please don't forget, use the arrow to say x-axis, use the arrow to say y-axis, so that you get your marks. Now there is a thing now when you're plotting. Let me just increase my line here. It was like this, and then otherwise everything is fine. Then let's go to the points. They are saying x is -7, y is -1. Let's go for x being -7, y being -1. It's here.
Yes.
Right? And then I've got x is -1, y is -7. So when x is -1, y is -7, there is a point there. See, they just gave you 2 points, and then the other one, it's 1 and 7.
1 and 7.
So x is 1, y is 7. I think it's on top there. Right? And when x is 7, y is 1. So when x is 7, y is 1, they gave the point there. Now look, man, it's 2 points they've given you, but you're supposed to sketch this graph. Let me even make it
maybe line to line.
Yeah, let me do, sorry about this. Let me make it red. That's what I want it to be. Oh, come on, I want this thing red. You know, this thing doesn't want to get, it's like it's fighting. It says no, I don't want.
Yes.
So look at this. When you're drawing, don't do a straight line, please, Jan-Rick. It's not right. You are supposed to draw it like this, please. Remember, I showed you the shape of this graph.
Yes, you showed me that
shape. So you must maintain that, because that's what they're trying to check. Are you aware? And I told you when it's positive, it's in quadrant 1 and quadrant 3.
Yes.
So what you do is, it mustn't touch the y-axis. They will penalize you a mark. So what you do is, nicely, you have a curve, curving nicely like that. It mustn't touch. It must be smooth, man. Mine is not even smooth. It must show a nice curve. And don't do such a curve like this, because it's like it's gonna round up at the end. This thing is not rounding up. It will go as much as try to touch. Let me try it again. It is go as much. It mustn't touch there, but go down. Go down. You know, almost. And don't do this. They will penalize you. Don't do this.
Okay, well,
they will penalize you. It must be a curve. You know, curving nicely. I'm not stable here with what I'm writing on, but look, curve nicely, not a straight line, almost like this. This was much better. All right, and then you do the same thing here. You are curving nicely on it, not a straight line, please.
Okay.
Then don't forget to label it. X, y is equal to 7. That's what they told us. Don't forget this type of graph. This is a hyperbola.
Okay.
All right, so please remember that. And then they say here on the next question, they were saying determine the relation of the x values and y values of the graph. They say determine the relationship. When they ask you about this relationship, look at this. You see this graph, when y is getting bigger, you see y going up, look at x gets smaller.
Yes, x gets smaller.
So this relationship is called inverse. Inversely proportional. It's not directly proportional. A straight line is directly proportional, meaning when x increases, y increases. But something when one increases and the other one decreases, we say it's inversely proportional. So the key word there is inverse. It's an inverse of the other. All right, meaning when one goes up, the other one goes down. It means it's an inverse relationship. So the word there, inverse, like this. I think you see the spelling, I-N-V-E-R-S-E, inverse. All right.
Yes.
And then they say, what is the name of the graph? Look, they're asking actually, what's the name of the graph? And they just say it's a what? It's a hyperbola.
Yes.
All right. So next one, looking at this question number 6, define the following. How will you define this? What is an isosceles triangle? What makes it an isosceles triangle?
Isn't it side to side?
Yes. So what are you going to say on the definition? It's a triangle with 2 equal sides.
Yes.
So just mention that. It's a triangle with 2 equal sides. What about supplementary angles? How will you define them? Now, the word supplementary angles means they add up to 180 degrees.
180.
So you're going to say these are angles that add up to 180 degrees.
180, yes.
Right. Then next one, they say, can you read this for me? What does this mean? The way it's written, what does it mean?
It means that it's the same size, or it's the same, but the size is
different. So this sign means similar. This is a similar sign.
Yes,
it's similar. Similarity. All right. So now they are saying it's similar. Now complete the following. Now how will you complete the following? They are saying use this. I will say, okay, here I always tell students to say, look at the way they have written this triangle, this thing. They are saying AB. You see AB.
Yes.
Then you have got AB, and then after AB they said EF. You see that? And then they said over EF.
Yeah, so it's going to be BC over FG.
Thank you. So you see FG, there is BC. Thank you.
Yeah.
So it's going to be BC over FG, and then AC over what?
AC over EG.
Over EG, man. You know, students mustn't struggle with this. You know, 1 mark. And then solve for X. How will you solve for X now?
X.
There is X down here.
Yes.
So what are you going to say?
Isn't 150 over 5 and 45 over X?
So AB, which is 150 over what? Over EF, 5. Which is 5, is equal to?
And then equal to 45 over
BC.
X.
Yeah, you said BC, which is 45, over FG, which is X. You're right. And then how do we solve for X here?
Then it's going to 150X.
You cross multiply. So 150X is equal to 5 times 45.
45.
Then how do you remain with X here?
I usually remove it.
How do we solve for X? How do we solve for X?
You're gonna work it out. Yeah, so the 5 times 45, it's gonna be 225. And then it's X. Then it's gonna be 225. 150. It's 3 on 2, so it's 1,5.
Okay. So you divide by 150, so it's gonna be X is equal to what? 1,5.
1,5.
Okay. So now don't forget, now you have to put the units. 1,5 what? Centimeters, because you are dealing with centimeters. Yes. So solve for X in centimeters. You see that they emphasize that.
Yes, I see it.
And then given that PQR, let's continue there, 6.3, given that triangle PQR with QR extended, PQR with QR extended to S, that line there. Calculate X and Y, give your reasons for the answer. What are you going to find as X and Y, man? I think we did this together this other time, am I right?
Yes, we did it together.
What do you think there? How do we find X and Y? It's an interesting one. So what do you observe on this? What type of a triangle is this one?
It's side.
Isosceles triangle. Yes. So what do you pick up? What is this? What is this angle then?
It's gonna be the same as 70.
Thank you, 70, because side.
So it's 180 minus 140, so it's gonna be 40.
Okay.
Why?
This one is gonna be 180 minus what? Minus 140.
Minus 140. Okay. So it's gonna be
here
40.
So let's do it well. We want the 4 marks. So let's start. So you're going to say first thing you're going to say this part.
Yes.
It's R1. I think they called it R1 there. There is a 1 they put here.
R1.
R1 here. R1 is equal to 70. Give reasons. You can say isosceles triangle.
Yes, isosceles triangle.
Isosceles triangle, meaning or base angles of an isosceles triangle. You understand?
Yes,
and then
I understand.
next one, you say it y is equal to what? What did you use? You mentioned about y. You said y.
I said angles inside of a triangle.
So y is equal to 180 degrees minus what? 140.
Minus 70, minus 70.
Minus 70, minus 70. And then you say angles.
Angles inside of a triangle.
Inside a triangle. Okay? So what is y? We say it is 40.
Yes, we say it's 40.
Alright, perfect. Now, how do we find x?
Isn't it gonna be the straight line?
Thank you. That's the keyword. Straight line. You're right. You've picked it up. What is it about the straight line that you know?
It's gonna be 180.
Thank you.
Minus the 70.
Thank you. Then you're going to say angles in a straight line.
Yes.
Straight
so
line.
It's gonna be 110.
Which is equal to 110.
110.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's it, man. You got it right. So I think here you're actually not having a problem. Even on our previous lesson, you're able to pick up this thing. Now, look at this. This is almost getting done now. Simplify the following without the use of a calculator and by making use of special angles. That's what I think even the other lesson I said we'll touch it together now. This is a good time for us to recap between me and you now. Look at this. Yeah. You are given this. You have to use these triangles to solve this. How do you go about that now? They're saying cos 45, meaning use this 45 triangle to get cos 45. Now, as I keep on saying, it's very important to come back and understand the sides and the SOHCAHTOA and everything. And
the SOHCAHTOA.
The part. So if we say SOHCAHTOA. So here we have got everything actually. Cos. So cos becomes C is A over H. Let's just do that first. Yeah. And then S is O over H. And T is O over
A over yes.
So now let's talk now. Now we need also to identify, sorry about that, we need to come and label these triangles, very important. Now what we call this side, between adjacent, opposite and hypotenuse, what is this side?
That side's gonna, I'm gonna say it's O.
It's
or
O.
Should I say?
No, it's not O. Now look at this. As I said this last time, identify your line. Come here, look at the 90 and the 45. If it's on the same line, it's A.
It's A.
Always remember, even here, if it's on the same line, it's A. Then the other side is O. So look where the two angles are on that line. So here you have your A, here you have your A. Automatically, this becomes our O because the longest side is always the H. So the longest side, you don't have to worry, is the hypotenuse H. But the O and A are the ones that you must be careful on. Right? Now let's solve this guy now. Cos 45, there is the 45 triangle. And you know cos is here, A over H. So what will I write? What is my A?
So
1.
It's going to be 1 over 2, that total 2.
Times what?
Times the, it's going
they say tan squared, right? So this is what you do. Put a bracket first and you put a squared outside.
Yes.
So it's going to be tan squared what? It's going to be squared what, where, right?
1 over 1.
It's 1 over 1.
Yes.
Okay, so you said 1 over 1. Perfect. And then over, let's go to sine 60. Then we go to the 61. No. We made an error. We're in 30 now. We're not in 45. We're in 30.
Oh, yeah, sorry. 30. It's going to be...
We're in 30.
It's going to be 1 over that 3.
1 over root 3, yes. 1 over root 3. Perfect. And then over 60. Now, look at this now. Let me show you something how they tricked you again. When they say 60, man, remove this. Because you're at 30 here. You're using 30 to identify the sides. So, what you do when they say 60, erase this guy. It's no longer existing. You know 60 is here. Because 30. Now, the sides have changed. Look at the angle now. This line is the one that has got 90 and what?
It's A, that one.
Thank you. Always remember that. This is now O. This is still H.
Yes.
So those are things that they're trying to confuse you on.
So it's going to be root 3 over 2.
So it's root 3
over 2.
Over 2. In actual fact, do you know that you can, let me show you how you can use a calculator. First punch for me cos 45. Let's say I can use a calculator and trick you here without you proving that I used a calculator. I'll show you. Punch for me cos 45. I'll show you how I do it.
It's root 2 over 2.
Thank you. Now, you see, you need to know that root 2 over 2 is equal to 1 over root 2. Can you punch for me 1 over root 2?
Yes, I can. It's 2 over 2.
You see, so this is what you do, man, in the exam. How you trick us when you start marking. When you see cos 45, if the calculator says root 2 over 2, you say 1 over root 2. You know that there's no other way they can get that. You see how you are tricking us? We know there it is. You see that? And then we say times. You do the same thing. Say tan 30. You don't say tan squared. You say tan 30. Because the squared will be outside.
Root 3 over 3. Now, so it's going to be...
Thank you. 1 over root 3.
Root 3.
So if you see a calculator saying root 2 over 2, it's 1 over root 2. Root 3 over 3, 1 over root 3. And then over, but now punch sin 60.
What's your suppose?
Sin 60.
Sin 60, it's root 3 over 2.
It doesn't change that one now. Always remember that. It's simple root 3 over 2. Why? Because we also got root 3 over 2.
So if the two letters are not the same, it doesn't change.
Yes. So if the 2 is, it only changes when you are having root 2 over 2, same numbers, root 3 over 3. Do you see those numbers I'm maintaining?
Yes, I see.
So the number don't change. It's root 2 over 2, root 3 over 3. So when you see that, you change the opposite. And then, trust me, if you write it like this, you see we use the calculator, but I'll never pick it up. I'll never pick it up.
I hope so.
I'm telling you, look at the difference. What is the difference between the calculator person? Let's say you went this route and I did this. Look at the answers. You said 1 over root 2, I also said the same.
It's
Everything is the same, man. So are you telling me, are you a palm reader or some sort of you know those guys who say things, you know?
Yeah, just give you 2 years so I can be one.
Alright, so because the question here said use this, no calculator, without the calculator. Now what you do, you need not to show the calculator. You maintain as 1 over root 2 there, times, remember this is squared, so it's 1 over 3. Why? Square root times square root is that number. Are you seeing that?
Yes, I'm seeing
And then over root 3 over 3. Are you with me? And then what you do next, you can multiply the top here. You say 1 over 3 root 3.
Is root 3.
And sorry, root 2. Sorry. On top there is root 2. Because this is the root 2 there. And then, look, I'm saying divided by, because I'm using this division line. So divided by root 3 over 3 over 2. Oh. Why am I writing over 3? Do you see? I'm
I don't know. There's a lot of 3s.
Yeah, there's a lot of 3s. So it's over 2 here.
Yes.
So this was 2. So over 2. So now, why am I doing that? I want to convert this thing into times. Remember the way times, so that it will be 2 over square root of 3. You see that? So it's 1 over 3 root 2. So when you multiply now, the top, this times this, the answer becomes 2 over 3. Now, square root of 2 times square root of 3 is square root of 6.
Yes, good.
You leave your answer like this. Now,
just leave it.
Yeah, but do me a favor. Let's do this with the calculator to see whether we are in the right track. You punch this once with your calculator now. And then let me do it on my side so that I will show you how you must be careful here. But you can practice also. So when you do it, you do this, cos 45. So I've got cos 45. I close it, right? Multiplied by, now this squared there, you start by putting a bracket. And then you say 10, 30. So you see, the calculator opened its own, I must close, and then close mine and put a squared outside.
Yes.
You see how I did that?
Yes,
then
I see.
after that over sin 60, and then you close that bracket, equal to, look what I'm getting. I'm getting what? Root 6 over,
Root 6 over 9.
let's write it there. It gave me root 6. Remember, the calculator was never meant to have a root at the bottom. Now, punch this for me. Say 2 over 3 root 6 equal to
2 over
3 root 6.
6. It gives me root 6 over 9.
See, that's the same answer.
Yes.
So, but you give me root 6 over 9, you'll be penalized because you used the calculator, you see.
Yes,
so your answer must be here. You understand? So those are the things that we check on. Yeah, just try to avoid, work with the calculator, but to advantage, you know. Now, next one says, write down the following in terms of S, T, and R. What do you think there? S, T, and R. Now, again, look, man, they gave us sin and cos. SOHCAHTOA is in action here. You first have to find out the question here. They're saying, write down the following in ratios, trigonometric ratios, in terms of S, T, and R. You have a 90 degrees. Now they are saying sin R, meaning the angle is now there.
Yes.
So when it's sin R, meaning where are you going to put the angle? They are showing you that the angle is at what? Is at R. When the angle is at R, do the same thing. This becomes the line, and
this becomes A.
Thank you. This becomes O.
Now, and that becomes H.
Since it's sin, so it's S is O over H.
Yes.
So now sin R is equal to, what is my O?
O is R
over
small r S.
You see, that's how you do it. Now, when they say cos T, erase all that again because it has changed. Now they're talking about this now, which means this becomes now my A, this becomes my O, and this becomes my H. So now cos T is equal to, remember cos is A over H. So A is what?
A is R over S.
R over S.
Again.
You see, so that was the same answer in a way.
Yes.
So now, last one, if A is equal to that, and B is equal to that, use a calculator and simplify the following. Come on, man. This was much simpler. I don't know why they gave even these 2 marks. Can you believe this? So A, you put 30.
And B put 40.
And you put a plus. I mean, it's 2 marks. These guys are not serious.
Yeah.
I mean, here, look, I'm not going to do this. I know, but cos 30 plus this, and then they say use a calculator and simplify. Can you do the one for 3 marks for me? Cos 30 plus cos 40.
Yes, I can. It's cos 30. The cos 30 is root 3 over 2.
3 over 2 plus
and
cos
the
40.
other one is, it is 0.766.
Can we add now root 3 over 2 plus 0.766? Then you get the answer.
It's it gives me 1,632.
632. Now tell me, Henrik, did you round off this guy? Was it 766 something, or did you round off properly?
No, it's rounded off.
Or it was rounded off properly, right?
Yes.
Okay, 100%. So they will just catch you on rounding off, and they say 3 decimal places, then that is it. Then it's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. And that is that. And I think this is almost the end. I did this yesterday, but we can I can just do a few things if you want me to do. On this one, it says the price of fuel is 13.88 per liter. It will increase to what? To 14.30. How do you calculate the percentage increase? Percentage increase. So what do you do when they say percentage increase? What was the original price?
13,88.
And then the new price?
14,50.
Can you find me the increase, the difference in the increase? Please, the difference? How?
The difference is
14,30 minus 13,88.
It's 0,420.
So it's 0,420, and then you divide by the original price, which is 13,88. Now percentage you multiply by what?
100.
And you get your answer, man. That is that part. Okay. Now next one, the area of a right angled triangle is, the area is 8 centimeters squared. The base is this. Calculate the height of the triangle. Now Here you need to sketch a right angle triangle. Let me do it down here. So a right angle triangle, I think you know, is something like this, which is a 90 degrees, right? That's a right angle triangle. And then they are saying to us the area of that, meaning if I can, this is the area, is inside, am I right?
Yes.
So they're saying the area is what? Is 4. It's 8, okay.
Yes, 8 centimeters to the power 2.
And the base, the base is what? Is 3.
The base is 3.
Then find what? Find h.
Then we should find the height of.
So what is the formula for the area of a triangle? It's half times base times height. That's the formula, but you can get this in the formulas, okay?
Yes.
Now they told us where there is area, I put 8. You see that? Is equal to half times, they told me the base is what? Is 3.
Base is 3.
And then there is
the height
half.
we leave.
Then it's a matter of dividing by 1/2 times 3, and also here 1/2 times 3. Then you get the answer for the height. Alright.
Yes.
And then the next one is a rectangular prism has a length of 4 centimeters, a breadth of that, and a height of that. Volume. I think you remember this is a prism volume. We are talking about this now. Okay. A prism is this thing. Alright. Think it's a, are you with me there? And they know what is the volume in the formulas. Volume is what? Length times
height
times
height.
So you do that, man. This is not a much bigger issue there. Actually, let's go to the formulas here, because they are saying here calculate the volume, and then what is the capacity? The capacity is actually the volume. So the answer you get here, you just have to convert it to mil. You know. So if it was maybe 50 cubic centimeters, for the capacity is gonna be 50 milliliters. And then calculate the surface area. So let's go to the formulas here and look at this. They're saying rectangular prism. So there, we are here. Rectangular prism. There is the volume. Are you there?
Yeah.
Now,
yes, I'm there.
so the volume is length times breadth. Now, they didn't give the area intentionally, so how will you find the area? I think that's why it's 4 marks. Says calculate the volume is not a problem here. We say it is length times breadth times height. So you multiply this number times that number times that number. Am I right?
Yes.
Now what about the surface area, man? I just want to check whether you will win on the surface area. What are you gonna do? Because
surface area isn't just like length mal base.
That's it. But there are many of them. The surface area is each and every side. Like they are saying, give us the area for example, let me use here. We want the area for the front, but don't forget there is also the base, the back.
Yes, and the sides.
And the sides, there is also the side, the top, there is also the bottom. So what are you gonna do?
So you're gonna work it out, and then you're gonna say it's mal 6.
It's gonna be what? Like there is 4, 1, 5, and 2. So this is what they do. You multiply, for example, remember if this was my, let's call this the, let's label it. Which one is the height? This is the height. And this is the length. And let's call this the breadth. You see that?
Yes.
So when you are finding it, you start by saying, when it's this one that I painted here, it's B times H. But you multiply it by 2 because there is the back side.
Yes.
And then plus, you also have L times H, but you multiply by 2.
2 also.
Plus, now we have got the top. The top is the L and the B, which is the 2 times the B and L.
Times
That's
L.
what you are doing there. Then the answer you get is your surface area.
Yes.
Then you get that answer. Okay. So that is that, man. It was just something crashed, as I said. Just a matter of just going through this question paper in a short space of time, giving you some ideas and everything. But I will encourage you, just before your final exams, just do 2 or 3 papers like you are giving yourself an exam, you know. And then you give yourself the amount. Remember, we gave you those previous papers.
Yes, I have
it. And after that, you mark yourself or give someone maybe at home who knows some math. They can just mark you quickly to give you a rough idea, where are you in terms of the level of your...
Or I just can test it with my calculator.
Yes, those kind of things. But because what you're wanting is, you want to be ready for that exam, you know. It's just that, man.
Yes.
So, I don't know, man, any question on your side, but today is our last day for the classes, and I don't think you've got a big problem to say with your maths. It's just a matter of, you need to be...
Going through it
go
again.
through them, man, and solve those errors there and there, but otherwise your foundation is solid, man.
Thank
And then
you.
any question on your side, anything that you want me to address, and then...
No, I'm fine. I'm just gonna be waiting for the videos
Okay.
you recorded,
Alright.
and then I'm going through it again.
Going through it
Then
again.
I'm
Alright.
then I'll be
You'll
fine.
be fine. And then tell me, Hendrik, are you registered with us, Ekurhuleni Tech College?
Yes.
And then you did your assignments also, you did receive your assignments?
Yes, I'm finished with
Oh,
you.
you're done. Okay, that's good. Alright. Was it a busy weekend for you, or we messed up your weekend?
Nah, just